You've heard of unconditional love, but have you heard of the secret to unconditional happiness and allowing more into your life? More wealth, more success, and more love. More freedom in your life right now. Welcome to the Happy Bar with Israel Savage. Last night, I had some time, I had some space. Both of my kids were on sleepovers, and that never happens. That's never happened before, that both my kids were away at the same time. And so I thought, what do I want to do with this? What do I feel like would be fun to do with this time? And someone had mentioned a website for cruise ships in our improvisation class. And so I went on the website, and I know nothing about cruises. I went on a cruise 10 years ago, but can't even remember exactly what cruise line it was. But all I had was just, wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't it be fun to find out more about cruises? And I had this little morsel, this little breadcrumb that someone had dropped for me about this website to go to. And so I went to the website, and sure enough, I was able to put in potential dates. I didn't even know when I would want to go on a cruise, what cruise line, where I would go, none of that stuff. But as I started to fish around on this site, things started to get clearer and clearer. When I really started to look at dates, it started to become clear that, because there'll be four of us, that some dates would work and some dates wouldn't. I could see that the prices were less expensive for certain times. And so there were things that I started to cross off my list and things that started to get clear in terms of dates. And then locations, there were certain locations that I had options for these cruises. And I felt I had gotten as far as I could on that site without extra help. So I called up the number and spoke to someone who was very helpful, and his name was Foster. And speaking of Australia, he spelled it for me. I don't know why he thought I couldn't spell Foster, but he said like the beer. So he was very friendly, very helpful. And he started to talk me through things, and it started to become clear. I knew I wanted to go somewhere warm. And I had originally thought maybe I would fly to Florida and leave from there, but I didn't realize you could leave on cruises from New York and get to somewhere warm. I thought it would take weeks and weeks to do that, but apparently not. And so I discovered that I wanted to leave from New York because that was easier. So New York, somewhere warm, my dates were getting clear. And then I had a few warm locations that were my options if I left from New York. And it was between the Bahamas, Bermuda, and the Caribbean. And then I heard what the itinerary was for the Caribbean, that we would go to Puerto Rico, we would go to the Dominican Republic. I've been to both those places before, but my kids haven't. And my wife is Puerto Rican, so there's a heritage connection there. And because of everything that's happened with storms, I thought, wouldn't it be great to support the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico? And so now I have a location, a destination. And so things just started to get clearer and clearer and clearer about what I wanted. And I started to get an idea of what was currently realistic in terms of pricing. And it led me to a point where I could say very clearly and definitively, here's what I want, and here's how much I want to pay for it. And so I wanted to share that example because I thought it was such an efficient way to illustrate what it's like to find clarity in our goals and our desires. It starts with just a very soft preference, a very soft curiosity, and you follow it. And then you start to fill out the picture. You might say you start to fill out the grid, thing by thing by thing, until it feels like everything has kind of clicked into place. And it doesn't have to take a long time. For me, it was just a phone call. But there does need to be an ease about it. You see, I had this time and space, just like what all of you were describing, the way that you feel when you're on a vacation. I had a mini vacation right here at home because it was quiet, unusually quiet, and I didn't have to do the things I normally have to do. And so I could explore, I could follow these little breadcrumbs that led me right to the clarity of my desire. And that process is so not only important, not only essential, but integral to who we are and how we create as human beings. Every single desire and goal that we've ever had follows pretty much that same pattern. Maybe at different speeds, maybe at different times, depending on how much we allow or where our resistance is. But in any case, it um, uh, it follows a similar pattern. You can sometimes feel trapped, or maybe trapped is too strong a word. You can sometimes feel limited, or just not embrace the freedom that you have. And what I discovered through that whole process is I could hop on a cruise ship. They have cruises to warm places from New York, 4-day cruises. In my mind, my belief was it would take 2 weeks to get somewhere warm and get somewhere back. Now, where did I pick that up? I don't know, but apparently either cruise ships got faster or I was just incorrect. And so for just a few $100s, I could just pack my bags, just me, myself, and I, and get out of town for 4 days on a cruise ship. Just hop a cruise ship and come back. 4 days is doable. 2 weeks is takes a little more planning. And so, often we say a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. And so right there, I had a belief that was in place that was holding me back from a wonderful, delicious cruise that's literally in my backyard. A hop, skip, and a jump to somewhere warm, somewhere relaxing, somewhere all-inclusive, right in my backyard. And the only thing holding me back was this belief that I had that turned out not to be accurate. And so it was so wonderful to just find my way, breadcrumb by breadcrumb, to this new realization and this new belief that, wow, this is doable. I can do this. I can take a little mini vacation. I can do that. That can happen for me. If you liked what you just heard, then take inspired action now. That's right, act while you are feeling good. And build on your momentum. Schedule your free discovery call with me at INstudios-nyc.com/happy bar.